Hello everyone, in this tutorial, I'll be sure to make your very own website in under 7 minutes. To get started, I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it website, but you can call it whatever you like. This is where all your website files are going to be stored. In the folder now, I'm going to create a new file. This will be a text document. The beginning can be whatever you would like, so I'm just going to call it main, but the ending needs to be .html. You can edit this file in literally any text editor, including Notepad. I personally prefer VS Code, but you can use whatever you'd like. The first thing we need to do is create our environment, so !doc_type HTML, and then HTML, followed by a /HTML. This is how everything in HTML is set up. You'll have the beginning of the item, followed by the ending of the item with a / of that item, and then everything inside it will be the contents of that item. And now we can start adding stuff to our website. So I'm going to create a new body item. In here, let's just type, "This is an awesome website." Awesome. Now, if we go back to our website, right click, create open with, and then whatever browser you would like. So I'm going to do Google Chrome. And we'll see right here, we instantly have this printed out. Now this is great now, but let's give it some more flavor. So I'm going to create a new header. So H1, H2, H3 are all different size headers. You'll see in a second. I'm going to paste this around here. I'm also going to create a paragraph. So P for paragraph. And let's just say this website has lots of cool stuff. And back on our website now, we see that we have a much larger header and also a cool little paragraph down here. We can also change the title of our website. So above our body, I'm going to create a new head object. In the head object, I'm going to create a new title. In the title, let's just say cool website. Back on our website now, if I refresh the page, you'll see that our title changes to cool website. Now, let's add images to our website. Head over to your website folder and drag and drop any images you would like in there. Back in the HTML now, anywhere you'd like, create a image item. Type in source, set the source to be the name of your file. So my image.png. You can go set the width to if you'd like, so I'll set the width to be around 500. Let's create a button now. So below our image, let's create a new button item. Let's set a type to be button in here. This will be the actual text that's on your button. So I'll just say, click me. Now back to our website. If we refresh, you'll see that we have a button. It doesn't do anything right now, but we'll get to that. Let's make it so when you click this button, it will lead you somewhere. So create an A item and end it off here. Inside of A, type href and set it to be a link. So within quotes, type in a link. Now, if we refresh the page and click the button, you'll see it will lead us to that link. Let's say we want the link to open up in a separate tab. Well, we can do that by simply typing target, get _blank. Now if we go back to the page, refresh it, we click the link, you'll see it opens up in a new tab and we still have our website here. Now, this website is pretty great right now, but let's add some style. Back in your website folder, create a new file. This will be a text document again, call it style.css. Back in your HTML file now, we need to link the CSS file. So link rel gets style sheet href gets style.css. End that off. In CSS, you can access individual items and edit their various style attributes. Let's start by referencing the body. So body, and then open up curly brackets. Let's say the background color, because our background color right now is pretty bright. So let's do a dark gray. Now, back on our website, if we refresh, you'll see that we get a dark gray background. Let's go ahead and center the content on our website. So type text, align, center. Then if we refresh, you'll see that we get everything in the center. Now, you may notice that our button is connected to the right side of our image, which we don't want this in this case. So we can fix this by creating a div. Divs can help us organize certain items by combining items into one singular div. So I'm going to create a div, and I'm going to surround both the A and also the button. I'll save that. I'm going to refresh the page now. You'll see that our button is now separate than our image. Speaking of our button, let's give it some style as well. So type in button in our CSS file, surrounded by curly brackets. Let's set the border to be none. This will get rid of the border outline. Next, we can set the border radius. Let's do 10 pixels. Next, let's change the color of our button. So create a background color. Don't worry, this will only affect the color of our button. Let's do blue for our background color. Then for our text color, let's do just color, white. And as you can see now, we have our button. Now let's say we want to change the font of our text on our website. So you can change the font globally with the body, or you can edit certain items such as the header by going H1 and then setting font family. And let's do impact and then reload the page. You'll see that we have our new font. Now let's say we want to add a new button. Well, we could easily copy over our button and enter it here. We could do click me also. If we reload our page, you'll see that we have our two buttons, but I want to make this button a different background color than this button. But right now, when we type button, we're actually referencing all the buttons inside the HTML file. We could easily do this by creating a class in our buttons. So I'm going to create a class inside of my first button. I'm just going to call it button1. And inside of our other button, I'm going to call it button2. In the CSS file now, I'm going to change the button to be .button1. Now this will only affect our button1. It will leave our second button alone. Now we can copy this over, reference button2, and let's set the color now to be orange. Now if we refresh, you'll see that we have one that's blue and one that's orange. Now one last thing, let's add some functionality. In our website folder, let's create a new file. This will be a text document, and we'll set this to be script.js. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail on how JavaScript works, but resources for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript will all be linked in the description down below. Now, let's go and link our JavaScript file to our HTML file. So, script, we'll close this off, and our script, we'll set our source to be script.js. Now, instead of our second button leading to a new website, we'll make it change the header when it's pressed. Now, we need to add an ID to our header to access it from the JavaScript file. So, let's set an ID, and let's just call it header. In our JavaScript file now, all we're going to do is create a simple function. Let's call it change header. We can call it whatever you like. Do 2 parentheses and then 2 curly brackets. Then we'll reference our header by doing document.get element by ID. And then that ID is our header as we set before in here. Now let's change the .text content to be you pressed the button. Back at our HTML file now, it's going to get rid of the href on our second button. In our button, type on click, and then in the on click, type change header to reference that function that we just created, and then do 2 parentheses. In the back of our website now, if we click the button, we'll say, wait, have you heard? This is supposed to say this. Oh, right! Brilliant.org. If you're looking for an amazing and easy way to learn about math, computer science, data science, and normal science, then you need to check out Brilliant.org. Brilliant is fun and interactive, and they have thousands of lessons with more being added every month. And what's great about Brilliant is they will customize the content to fit your needs. With Brilliant's guided lessons, you'll be able to explore concepts at your own pace, and if you get stuck, you can use the step-by-step solutions to get back on track. If you're an avid G-Wizard, then it's a no-brainer to sign up for Brilliant.org. They teach computer science at every skill level. I'm currently brushing up my data structures and algorithms with them. For a limited time, Brilliant.org is offering a 30-day free trial. And if you sign up now with the code GWIZ, you'll get 20% off. That's a lifetime subscription for 20% off. Isn't that nuts? So what are you waiting for? Head over to Brilliant.org/GWIZ to get 20% off your lifetime subscription. Thank you, Brilliant.org, for sponsoring this video, and keep G-Wizzing.